Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today we have a pretty big show because we will be talking about, I know guys, Kylian Mbappe and all the reactions, all the comments, all the statements the rest of the world has been making over the last 24 to 45 hours right after the interviews that Kylian Mbappe conceded to different media, Radio Monte Carlo, and also L'Equipe. And I know, I'm pretty aware that some of you all guys are a little bit sick and tired of Kylian Mbappe drama and beef and stuff, but just be for 1 second in my shoes, man. If you are a, broadcaster or YouTuber or whatever, how am I not to speak about Kylian Mbappe right now? How am I going to not to talk about the hottest topic right now in the soccer industry when this player decided to talk to everybody and tell the real story behind the whole drama in the last summer with his not signing for Real Madrid? I mean, that is impossible for me. That's why I'm here in front of the camera to telling to you all guys all the details about that, and of course all the reactions that have provoked all these statements from Kylian Mbappe, because of course right now there are a lot of people making different moves. For example, in PSG they are trying to prepare a new offer renewal for Kylian Mbappe. Pochettino has said something as well, and then some people from Madrid are speculating that Kylian Mbappe he might be hinting the possibility not to repeat the same thing than summer and maybe say no to Real Madrid. So he finally ended, playing for PSG again, right? So that is another possibility, but I will be talking about that later on. But also, I wanted to talk about the latest frustration of Carlo Ancelotti with the international break. And this is a topic that I talk about a lot in my Spanish channel, just because I also feel that frustration when you see the 50% of the players of your team just going to play with their national teams, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But the problem is, if you are in the middle of this kind of weird situation when you haven't won any single game of the last 3 games, the problem is you of course have to make significant improvements, right? I mean, whether tactical, strategy, players, whatever it is. But in order for you to do that, what you need to happen is to have all your players available in the training ground every single day, so you guys can work together and work the things out and see what is the best way for you guys, or what is the thing that you don't have to do anymore, whatever. But you need your players in the training ground every single day in the practice, right? So that is exactly what is not happening right now, neither in Real Madrid nor any other team in the world. And that is what makes me really nuts sometimes, because there's no way that you have to stop the competition every 2 weeks from September all the way to November. There's no point, man. That is exactly what really freaks me out, and I think that for you all guys is the same, that you feel very upset every time the soccer clubs have to stop for this kind of weird international breaks. I mean, I'm okay if the national teams have to play or they want to play against each other in different competitions, but try to put them together in just 1 month, so you only have to make a single break, not every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But it's fine. That is another topic I want to talk about later. And then of course I will be talking about Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard is a player that for any reason since he left Real Madrid is constantly talking about Real Madrid in a very negative way, like saying, it's very difficult. The last thing he said is very difficult to make friends in Real Madrid and things like that, right? So I will be addressing this statement as well. So let me get started with the first topic about Carlo Ancelotti and his frustration right now with this international break. As you probably can imagine, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we haven't won any single game. We had two losses against Espanyol and Sheriff Tiraspol, and we draw the game against Villarreal, playing really bad, and Villarreal actually controlled the whole game, right? They dominated the ball and they dominated the game, and we really made a very poor performance, right? So that means like we have been hearing from different outlets, media, journalists, and people, Real Madrid have to improve significantly in different aspects and things. Like, for example, positioning of the center backs, positioning of players like Camavinga, David Alaba, Militao. Defensive wise, we have to improve a lot. That is number one. Number two, how is it possible that now Vinicius Jr., after an incredible, spectacular beginning of the season, scoring, assisting, and stuff, he's going through right now a kind of, bumpy road. He's not able to score, he's not able to assist, he's still making some danger and stuff, creating dangers and stuff, but it's not the same, right? So we still have to work on different things. But how are you going to improve any single thing when you have these players with their different national teams spread all around the world? That is impossible, and that is the thing. Why do we have to stop? Why do we have to wait for they to come back? Because the problem is that, when they come back, you don't have even time for prepare anything. They come back just the day before another game with Real Madrid, so there's no possible time for you to work with them in significant or any other improvements or things that you have to work on or aspects that you want to improve. Whatever, you don't have any time. So that's why there's no way for Real Madrid, Ancelotti, or any other team in the world to improve any single thing if all the players are out there just playing for the national teams in different competitions and sometimes just friendly games. Because I'm okay if you are trying to qualify for the World Championship, for the European Championship, I'm okay with that. But the problem is when you go out there or when you have to travel about 10,000 kilometers to the other corner of the world to play a friendly game like the Brazilian players do, it is like, man, why this has to be that way? There's no any other single way. There's no other way to retain these players in the team. There's no point, because right after that, what happens is the 60% of these players, sometimes the 70% of these players, they come back to Real Madrid and they are whether injured or maybe tired or maybe sick or things like that. So you finally end missing the player for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you have to pay the player, and the only advantage from the player, it was for the national team, not for Real Madrid. So that is the thing. Why do we have to stop every single 2 weeks? There's no point, and that is a frustration not only for Carlo Ancelotti but also for Madridistas like me, that we are sick and tired of this kind of super long breaks and stuff that we don't really like. Because I am not a very fan of the national teams, honestly. I don't follow that much I only watch just in case the World Championship or even the European Championship and things like that. But the process to qualify for this super kind of massive events, it is something I don't look at it. I never follow it. I don't really care about that, right? I don't care national team of Spain or any other. And I understand, guys, that you think otherwise, because sometimes you guys are very supporters and very fans of your national team, and totally fine. I'm okay with that. But the thing is, how can we do the things in a different way so everything works out for everybody, like for the clubs? Because at the end of the day, this business is based on the clubs and the soccer clubs, right? They make millions, they move massive audiences and stuff like that. So we have to pay more attention to this kind of soccer, you know what I'm saying? So it's no way, there's no point in stopping every single thing every single 2 weeks or 1 week or 3 weeks or whatever it is, right? So this is a kind of big frustration that I have, and I'm talking about all the time about that in my Spanish channel. But let me go ahead and keep moving forward and talk about the next story, which is about Martin Odegaard. What is going on with Martin Odegaard, and why sometimes I feel really upset with this player, with this super young player? Because as you know, Martin Odegaard came into Real Madrid and signed for Real Madrid in 2015 when he was a super young kid, very promising player, things like that. And we tried to we tried to accommodate the player in the best way possible. He went to the Real Madrid Castilla, and then he played some games with the first team and things like that. But this guy, every time he goes out to public, to the media, newspapers, he has to talk to in a press conference or something, he's all the time comparing Real Madrid and Arsenal and how bad was Real Madrid for him, how bad experience. He's all the time like, trying to overlooking these kind of things like, no, well, it was a good experience to me, but it's all the time saying the same things like, no, the environment in the Real Madrid locker room is very difficult. It is very difficult to make friends there because the people are trying, the things are more spread out and nobody really cares about the others, nobody really cares about the teammates and stuff like that. I mean, hinting things that are, of course, very negative things about my team. So that is the point. That's why I'm very upset with Martin Odegaard sometimes, because he's a great player. I wish him the best, we wish him the best, and of course if he decided to leave Real Madrid and go and try Arsenal because he's more comfortable, he's more happier, or he's whatever it is, whatever the reason, I don't care, I'm okay with that. He doesn't understand, but he sometimes, what I get from his words is a kind of, a bad taste that he has because he's frustrated because he couldn't succeed in Real Madrid or something like that. Because when you are happy to join another team, you forget about everything about your previous team or your prior team or whatever it is. You don't care, you wish them the best, and of course you only really care about your next team or whatever. So you're not all the time constantly 24/7 talking about your prior team, in this case Real Madrid. So man, just forget about us, forget about everything Real Madrid, forget about your past. Just try to succeed in Arsenal, try to be important for your team, try to be as top professional as possible. That's it. You don't have to care about anything else, right? So I don't know why these guys all the time talking about again, over and over again about Real Madrid. There's no point, but it is his decision. And now let me tell you all the next story, and we will be finishing about that. We will be finishing the video with this story. Is about, of course, Kylian Mbappe, because Pochettino last night, he was with Jorge Valdano in the, I think it's the show Universo Valdano, and he was talking about pretty much everything and PSG and all the stuff, but he was asked, of course, Kylian Mbappe, and he said something that really made a big concern, or has been a big concern for some Madridistas out there. Pochettino said something like, Kylian Mbappe is the present and the future of PSG. So he was revealing the real intention from PSG is to renew the player and keep the player in the squad, right? So for so many people, Madridistas out there, it's like they are kind of going crazy, like, oh my god, he said that he's gonna stay, he's not coming in, he's not signing for Real Madrid, and it's not like that, right? So let me tell you what, Kylian Mbappe already has a decision. And let me remind you the words from Fabrizio Romano, who is obviously, is a journalist who arguably is the, most reliable source of information when it comes to signings, players, and stuff like that. Fabrizio Romano said, if you really want to renew your contract or keep playing for your team, for your current team, what you never do is to give an interview in these kind of terms and saying things like Kylian Mbappe has said. It is completely impossible that you want to stay in a team and at the same time revealing that last summer you wanted to go out, you wanted to get out of the team and join Real Madrid. If he said that, it is because he's pressing to be signed by Real Madrid, not in summer, maybe in January. He's trying to accelerate every single thing to sign for Real Madrid as soon as possible. So that's it. To me, there's no concern. There shouldn't be any problem. There shouldn't be any trouble. And I know, because they are saying this, PSG is trying to prepare another offer renewal for retaining Kylian Mbappe, but that is not going to work at all, because Kylian Mbappe has already made his decision, and his final decision, his dream come true, is to play for Real Madrid, and that is apparently something Al-Khelaifi and Pochettino don't really understand. I think that they really know, and they are really aware of the real intention and purpose and dream of Kylian Mbappe, but they don't care. They have to try it and keep trying. I mean, as long as Kylian Mbappe is still a player for PSG, Al Khelaifi will try his best, will try whatever it takes, will give everything he got for retaining Kylian Mbappe, because he is looking for the best of the club, you know, for their best interest. And that is completely understandable. I'm totally fine with that. But Kylian Mbappe wants to play for Real Madrid, so shouldn't be any concern or problem with Los Madridistas. So now let me know your thoughts about that, guys. Just comment in the section below, and of course subscribe my channel, Real Madrid Hub.